Hey there. Today the moon is in Virgo, and later in the day, 8:40 p.m. Pacific time, we have a first quarter moon. So bringing in that energy of the first quarter moon that something is not working. We have the feeling of friction, frustration, conflict of some sort, some kind of pebble in the shoe or maybe a rock, I don't know, but something creating a need to get creative and also working on perfecting and refining what we have been working on with the Virgo moon. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Monday, June 2nd, and the moon is in Virgo all day. Virgo is, of course, the energy of refining, perfecting, going over the details and making something even better. So we go from the Cancer moon feelings, which we had last week, into the Leo moon over the weekend of expressing, into the Virgo work of perfecting. So we get the feeling, we move the feeling and put it into expression. But if you haven't been getting a lot done over the weekend, don't worry, because that Leo energy is just trying to express itself. It doesn't have a goal, right? It's a fire sign. It just wants to do, to go, to feel and emote and put something into expression to be seen. But it doesn't have that earthy energy that Virgo brings in to get something into practical form, into some results, into something tangible, into something that is more effective. So doing that refining work, perfecting, improving with the Virgo moon. And of course, later in the day today, we have the first quarter moon, and so that is putting some pressure to say something needs to shift somewhere. So noticing in your life what is showing up that is inviting a shift, what is asking you to look at things from a different perspective, a bigger picture perspective. And sometimes when we are immersed in issues or situations or problems, we can get in we can forget the bigger picture context, right? We can get in the weeds with what it is we are faced with and get stuck in our thinking sometimes. So the first quarter moon brings this invitation to get outside of the old ways of thinking, to shift places where you are stuck by looking at things differently. So the first quarter moon invites a shift in consciousness. It involves a shift in perspective, in how you are viewing something, and it's an invitation to get creative, to do something differently, to learn what you need to learn so that you can go to the next step of how you are stepping into your own growth and learning that helps you to create and manifest and participate in the bigger picture of what it is you are working on, what is important to you, what you want to create. And in yesterday's video, my video for Sunday, June 1st, I had the reminder of all these shifts that we are in the midst of, and really taking that bigger picture view of what are the outer planet alignments and how they are really actually changing in many ways our own approach to change. And so if you missed yesterday's video, definitely watch it, because I shared with you how cooking a pot of rice can be one way of looking at how we create things, but then there are other ways of creating them that might be even more instantaneous, and how we can work with that energy of manifestation happening faster. So thinking about that, and we're, we've got still June, and then these big alignments. Everything is always an alignment, but July feels like some things are kind of moving and shifting in new directions, bringing up that shift of Uranus into Gemini, the joining or coming as close as they come this year of Saturn and Neptune coming together, and the outer planet sextile alignments. So between those, we have some real opportunities for shift in July, even though we have those opportunities all the time. Kind of thinking bigger picture with the July alignments and shifts. So with today's first quarter moon, we want to look back to the Gemini new moon that began this moon cycle. So we are focusing on themes of communication, of information and information processing, how we think about things, how we access new ideas, learning new things, opening our minds, opening to a mind of wonder and curiosity that can help us see those shifts in consciousness and where they might lie. So if we are in a moon cycle that is focusing on communication, you might look back over the past week and what has been evolving for you in terms of communication, messaging, your beliefs, narratives, storytelling, how you tell the story, who agrees with the story you are telling, right? And really looking at those patterns of how reality is formed through the ways that we tell stories and the ways that we share information and understand things and open our minds to possibilities. So that's what we're working on. We had the Gemini new moon, and then the feelings of Cancer, and then the expression of Leo, and now the perfecting that we are doing with Virgo. So thinking about for today, how you want to refine what it is you're thinking about, how you're telling a story, how you are sharing information or communicating what's important to you, who you need to speak with, and how you might need to, first quarter moon, shift your consciousness about how to approach maybe some glitches in communication, or some places where your message is not being received, or maybe where you're not listening in the ways that will really help you be more effective at understanding. So communication happens both ways, right? It's about expressing your truth powerfully, but it's also about listening deeply and allowing yourself to take in information, whether or not it fits your story, right? So sometimes we have to adapt and adjust our stories about what is true when we listen deeply and receive new information. So those are just some foods for thought in how you might want to reflect on what is unfolding in your life. And again, looking at this as how you are learning and discovering more about yourself and your life, and not necessarily what you have gotten done from your to-do list. Although now that the moon is in Virgo, it might be a good time to roll up your sleeves and engage with some of the technical details, some of the steps involved in something that you are working on. So getting detail oriented, getting hands on, really getting down in the weeds in terms of pushing something forward, or seeing where it wants to go, or seeing where your own next steps might be. So good time to start to get things done now that the moon is going into Virgo with this Gemini moon cycle. It's the first Earth moon we've had since the Gemini moon cycle began. So focusing on communication, but now we might get more tangible. So with the first quarter moon, also thinking about where we might need to open our minds a little bit more to see how things fit together, to see what we couldn't see before. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Marina Orms, and you can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. I have openings for readings, and I'm also starting a member program, which I am so excited to have many of you already joining me. So if you haven't checked it out yet, take a look. There is a link in the description for this video. Thanks for being here and subscribing to this YouTube channel. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.